I've been in radio for 16 years. I got started about 2 years into college, working part-time. I always wanted to be on the air as a kid. You know, everybody wanted to be a DJ. That was the coolest thing you could ever do. And the more I got into the business, the more I started to appreciate what's going on behind the scenes, what makes it work, and a lot of the other sides of the business, and made a transition. I was on the air for about 6 or 7 years, and then moved over to IT, and then technical management after that. I love local, I love live radio, and I'm fortunate to work at an organization that still believes in that, and we have a lot of original content that we produce, and I think it's the flexibility too, and the ability to react and be adaptive to things that are happening. I think some of the driving things that have made this such an exciting career is that there's always something new. Things are changing. I mean, the industry is shifting rapidly. We're taught there's, you know, with the upcoming HD radio movement, and finally getting close to mass with receivers, and new opportunities for distribution online, and you know, I think the industry as a whole has changed. The way we reach our audience has changed, and the way that they expect to receive the product has changed. With streaming media and social media and web interactivity and text messaging, and there's so many more options available now, and I love that the challenge is new every day. I mean, there's always something new to do and see, and it's never the same job twice in a row. I think no matter how it's delivered or how it's consumed, we're still creating a product. You know, our radio stations individually as an entirety are a product that we're delivering, and whether it's received terrestrially or on an HD carrier or streamed, however it's being consumed, I still think we're creating a unique product every day. And it's still radio. It's still radio no matter how it's consumed. Growing up, we were real fortunate to live in a small market that had a lot of great radio in West Virginia, and there were talent. I mean, these stations were live 6, 8 to midnight. They had 4 or 5 in our market that were live at that time, and that's pretty uncommon in some of the smaller markets during that time. But there were several personalities that I remember very clearly growing up in Morgantown on the top 40 station. So I would record on cassette, you know, all of the jingles and liners and imaging on these radio stations, and I would call the DJs and say, hey, can you let the jingle fade out a little bit more before you start the song so I can record the things? And they would often do that, and I would set up a whole studio in my house with cassette decks and would play radio hours and hours and hours every day. And it's actually how I got my start. I bugged the nighttime DJ at WVAQ in Morgantown enough that he let me come in and intern one summer in high school, and that was actually my start in the career. I'd bugged him growing up all my life on the phone and got started that way. I was destructive. The stuff that I took apart as a kid and even into high school didn't typically go back together. I had best intentions when I started and learned a lot through the destruction process, but regardless, I don't think I ever made something work again. That came later in life that I was able to do that. If there's even a bug of interest in this industry, I think I would just say that it's evolving, and it has to. I think it's an exciting time to be in media, specifically radio. I think it still has an advantage over a lot of the other medias in that it's, like I said, its ability to adapt and to be local and live and things happening now. And I think it's uniquely positioned to be successful because of the way it's been able to adapt to the new delivery methods. Over all of the mass media, I think it has the most potential to remain viable for the longest period of time because of its unique ability to be flexible and to be delivered in so many different ways. A unique position for radio, and that it's still personality-driven business. That's the difference. It's still a personality-driven business, and I think people can, with the technology that exists today through social media and other means, to have two-way communication, which is something that we didn't have 20 years ago, you know, that readily available. I think that sets it apart in that way.